Now, I've let this argument kind of sit aside for a while because I'm trying to catch up with my Beatles knowledge of their music. But very early on, I made the claim that I think the Rolling Stones are better than the Beatles. From the music I've heard so far, I think I'd have to agree on that. And it's maybe because I'm hearing these guys at their peak, but they really are in a league of their own. The Rolling Stones might be the most fun band I've heard so far on this channel, especially in that 60s era. These guys are really, really special. To me, they represent pure rock and roll. The music is rebellious, it's really fun, gets you moving. That's been the majority of the songs I've heard so far, but they can throw in an occasional ballad, which is fantastic. And this is supposedly a slower paced track, a more poetic song, and it's one that's been highly recommended from the commenters. And it's another one off this album, Sticky Fingers. It's obviously a brilliant masterpiece album. So many great songs off this one. Let's check out the track, Moonlight Mile by the Rolling Stones. So this is Mick playing the guitar. There's apparently no Keith Richards on this track. Oh, I like the separation of the sounds. Very atmospheric. Like the sound of that guitar. Wow, very, very atmospheric start to this thing. Especially the sounds of those guitars. They almost sound Japanese inspired. Am I wrong about that? Even those drums, taiko drums, I think is the name of those type of drums. It sounds like that to me at least. I'll have to look up if they're actually taiko drums. I don't know if they've actually been inspired by Japanese music, but to me, in my mind, I'm picturing a train ride through like the mountains of Japan or something like that, which is very cool atmosphere being created. Now, the best line in this thing, I think so far, very poetic lyrics, was this one here. I'm just living to be lying by your side. Wow, very romantic. As much of a lady killer as he is, he's got this side to him, this sensitive side, and it's all kind of amplified by the atmosphere. What awesome dramatic style that they've employed for this thing. From everything down to the sound of those drums, those kicks, They sound very different, rounder. I was saying that they're taiko drums. I looked them up. They're just regular drums. So I guess the Japanese kind of stylings on the track are just kind of happenstance. They're not actually been inspired by Japan. What I'm taking away from it is, seems like a lover sort of reminiscing on not having his partner around. And what I take away is I've got silence on my radio. Let the airwaves flow. He wants to hear or receive this connection from this person that's not there anymore. It's silence. There's some great stuff in this one. It seems to be in a sort of cold, snowy sort of imagery. Great imagery being created by his lines. Going to warm my bones, going to warm my bones. I don't think he just means physically, as in to get into the heat, like as in the warmth of another person as well. Especially after... The absence of Keith transformed the music. It's made it into this whole nother sound almost. It's almost like a film soundtrack. Unbelievable imagery, themes being repeated, the idea of dying by someone's side and being warm. Going to warm my bones. That sounds Japanese. Unbelievably poetic track. An almost completely different side to the Rolling Stones, which they can pull out of themselves on occasion. With that beautiful range that they seem to possess, they can make a song like Brown Sugar and then make a track like this at the same time in the same album, I believe, is unreal. Now, I've let this argument kind of sit aside for a while because I'm trying to catch up with my Beatles knowledge of their music. But very early on, I made the claim that I think the Rolling Stones are better than the Beatles. From the music I've heard so far, I think I'd have to agree on that. Now, don't get me wrong, I've not heard as much Beatles music as I've heard from the Rolling Stones. I'm taking my time with the Beatles stuff, listening to all the early stuff and some of their newer stuff. And it's maybe because I'm hearing these guys at their peak, but they really are in a league of their own. In terms of what they do, You know, I think Led Zeppelin and Pink Floyd do a whole different other thing, but when it comes to pure rock music, I think these guys stand on their own. Now, in terms of the Japanese influences that I picked up on, maybe it's because I grew up listening to watching anime and listening to their soundtracks, and my ears are attuned to these certain drum noises and certain pianos and certain guitars, but it sounded Japanese influence to me. It could really fit on an anime show about two lovers who are trying to reunite with each other. In terms of the writing, really brilliant. One of the best from Jagger, where he's full of this fantastic imagery of coldness without that person next to him, and him needing warmth, wanting to die by this person's side or lying by your side. Really, really top-notch writing, man. All in all, a great track. I'm glad you guys asked me to listen to this one. Check this out. For I'm sleeping on a strange, strange sky. It's just another mad, mad day on the road. My dreams is fading down the railway line. I'm just about a moonlight mile down the road. What does that mean? What do you think that means? I'm just about a moonlight mile down the road. A moonlight mile. Okay, this means you're driving at night, right? It's being lit up by the moon. Very romantic. It may seem like we're a very far distance away from each other, but really, there's not much between us. Perhaps is what he's trying to say here. Yeah, man, great stuff. Great track, man. The Amazing Rolling Stones.